Welcome to the Tenacious Smashing Bastard Show. Today, we are brought to you from Chateau Ooey.
Ooey again.
Today, we're talking about video games.
Ooey a third time.
Jake?
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm okay.
My right-hand man.
Yeah, sometimes we use both hands.
Ooey.
Ooey.
And I'm Ben. I've realized I don't ever introduce
You've
myself.
never introduced yourself. People think I do this show with one of the voices in my head.
In fact, I agree.
Yeah, I'm not sure you're here either.
But today we are this is going to be the third
of
the special edition podcast.
That's right.
Because we've hit the main categories. The typical, and I said last week that we'd go back to the normal format, but we had an internal conversation.
Yeah. Very internal.
Under a bench press weight.
That's right.
That
One of us was.
315 pounds rested upon it.
And
didn't go back up for somebody.
Well,
sometimes we use both hands.
Sometimes we both use both hands when I'm trying to lift it.
But the reason for this is we wanted to get, everyone knows this is fitness, disc golf, podcast, but we also talk about music, sports, and video games.
That's right.
And we wanted to be able to introduce all of the topics so that we can...
In long form,
so that when we bring them in short form, it will make sense to the format.
Yeah.
So if you're not into video games...
Piss right on off.
Check out our podcast about sports and numbers and the best people to wear them.
Yeah.
But later.
Yeah.
But with you've stuck with us this far. I guess you deserve to know what the podcast is actually about today.
Right, yeah.
So what we're going to do is, again, we are men in our 30s.
Yeah.
So we've seen some things.
We've seen a lot of things.
Some of them being not necessarily the advent of the video game.
No.
But basically pretty much the more refined version of the game.
I think we've seen both booms.
Yeah.
Both boom periods.
We've
seen the birth of every major system besides the NES.
We've eaten the placenta.
Of every major system besides the NES.
And I had an NES in my home. I remember distinctly playing an NES.
Yeah.
But my first real memories are Super Nintendo.
That's right, Super Nintendo. Because it came out. We were old enough to know what things were when it came out. NES was out.
Yeah, funny thing about the Super NES is, do you ever remember as a kid playing a bad NES game?
No. Because there aren't any. I mean, there's a couple. But
SNES, Super Nintendo.
Yeah, Super Nintendo. Yeah, no.
No, I don't either.
You know why? Because I've got a good eye for labels.
Well, any game anyone ever gave me, put in the system, one of my favorite games, which I'll just start it. We'll get started now.
Let's get started
now.
We should tell them why we're doing favorite games.
So why we're doing favorite games is just to give a little bit of love to maybe some of those games that weren't actually that good.
Yeah.
Because there's plenty of them. There's plenty of good games that maybe you have some kind of mental attachment to. Not necessarily that, this is the greatest game I've ever played.
Right, but also it's probably the greatest game you ever played.
Right. So we'll go through, we'll give each, similar to the numbers, we'll give each of our opinions on what was our favorite game, and then we'll try and find, maybe what was the best game.
Yeah, and then, throw some honorable mentions in there.
But we'll start with the Super Nintendo.
Right.
Because that was where it all began.
Yeah.
My favorite Super Nintendo game.
Is this going to be an immediate, we have the same favorite game?
I don't think so.
Okay, fine. Be that way. See if I care.
Well, you go first now. Now I'm intrigued.
No, I don't want to. You decided that you're the host and I'm the other guy.
Well, as the host, I should defer. Well, here.
You can't take the coin toss in the second half. We did sports last week.
All right. So my favorite Super Nintendo game, which I never actually ever beat. I've never even seen past certain levels until I actually got older and watched it on YouTube.
Okay.
It is Bugs Bunny Rabbit Rampage.
Really?
Uh-huh.
That's actually your favorite game?
That is my favorite Super Nintendo game.
By Sunsoft.
By Sunsoft. I don't know why. It was one of those games, I think it was given to me as a gift.
Mm-hmm.
And I remembered watching my mom play it and get to a certain point, and I went, I could do that. But it was very cartoon.
Yeah.
It was very,
it's Bugs Bunny.
Well, it was like you were moving the cartoon.
It was like they picked out specific episodes. I have that game.
Yeah. Episodic, you start with like the snow level, and then you're just looking for carrots, and you got to fight Marvin the Martian. And
then when he's the bullfighter.
Yeah. It was hard. Very hard.
There's a couple of those. So what everyone needs to know about me is between the two of us, I am the historian, the video game historian. My library is unreasonably massive.
It's not quite AVGN, but it's close.
It's
in the ballpark.
I'm missing the older stuff. He's got me on Atari and NES and PC stuff, but everything else. Whoa, hey, what happened? Hello. My voice cracked, Benjamin. I'm finally a man.
You've done it.
It's about time.
Wait.
But Sunsoft let out a whole bunch of those Looney Tunes games. There was Bugs Bunny, there was a Roadrunner one, there's a Porky Pig one, there's a Daffy Duck one, and they're all like that. And by all like that, I mean all way too fucking hard for what they are based on.
Oh, yeah. These were kids' games that no kid could win.
No, they were impossible.
Like, I remember... this was also the first game that this was the give the old controller that's not plugged into a sibling, and swore that when it was their turn, Bugs Bunny was a darker color. And they're like, wait, is it? And I'm like, see, look, this is you. The fur's darker. That's player 2.
Right.
I love that game.
I've got that game somewhere.
And you and I have played multiple SNES games since then.
Oh, yeah.
And it never comes up because it's a one-player game, and it's like, it's not thrilling.
No. That's not a good... We could do it now because we're in our 30s, and we have the patience, and we can enjoy things like talking shit at each other while we're doing it now. But that's not that's not even a late teens play together game. That's you're adolescent. You're like, oh, this is stupid.
Yeah,
you can't. So it's literally like the snow level is jumping on tree limbs.
Right.
That's all it is.
Yeah, and like the space level, it's just like trying not to get killed.
It's jumping
around.
Limbs.
Yeah. That's all it was. It was the same level with different skins.
Yeah.
And then the boss battles were just way too hard.
Way hard.
It was like you had to jump over and perfectly time and memorize the pattern. And then when you died, you just started over.
At the snow level.
Very beginning.
Number 1, yeah. Oh, that's an intriguing favorite. See, mine's a little more obscure. There's only one of these that came out in North America. The other 2 on the system were just on the Super Famicom. They were just Japanese games.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always been a big fan of the Legend of the Mystical Ninja series, starring Goman.
Yeah, Snackwagon.
Right. Snatchwagon. Exactly. But the Super Nintendo version of that game is probably my favorite Super Nintendo game that's off the rails.
Yeah.
We can't, I can sit here and tell you Turtles in Time.
Well, we've beaten Turtles in Time
We
together.
beat Turtles in Time, and Turtles in Time's a great game, but that's not what we're picking for our favorites, right?
Well,
we're picking our favorite offshoot.
I feel like the best game, when people are like, oh, this was the best game, I think I was too young to really play the best games. Like, I've gone back and I've played the, Zelda, and I've gone back.
Past.
And I've played like Chrono Trigger, and I've gone back and I've played Super Mario RPG. But
yeah,
I was much younger to where I didn't want to play these games. Like I wanted to play action shooting fun games. So like Final Fantasy and all this stuff, like it just didn't appeal to me.
Mario Karts and the
It's like we played Bomberman and like you played a little Mario, but that was it.
Yeah, but when you're 8, you're not getting through Secret of Mana.
Right.
You don't have the time or the patience or the understanding.
I tried to play it now, and I still go, oh, boy, I am done.
I barely understood Link to the Past when I was a kid, and that wasn't difficult, but I just was like, that was the first game that was kind of open-worldy. Not really. You were stuck here, but it was kind of like, oh, God, it's not telling me where to go.
Right.
So I was stuck in the same, 4x4 area for 20 days.
Right. Yeah, like if you made me pick, to me personally, what was the best game, it was Donkey Kong Country.
Donkey Kong Country, yeah,
and all of those. But Donkey Kong Country was like, wow, that was the first game that wowed me.
Yeah,
but I still to this day, if you I don't have the Rabbit Rampage. Like or Rampaging Rabbit. If I had it, I would play it and I would show my kids and be like, "This is the game. This is the one."
And they'd go,
"Dad, no."
Yeah, anything else. I think if you asked me what the best game on the system is, without any bias, God damn it, I think you have to give it the Link to the Past. But I would say it's a toss-up. Depends what you like to play. Is it Turtles in Time or is it Mario World? Because Super Mario World is, I'll say it, besides Mario 64, it's the best Mario game.
Yeah, Super Mario World is.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, if you told me that's the best game, I'd believe you because I played that.
Because it's the last bastion. Like, Super Mario 64 is the bridge into all of these new Marios where, like, you're not really Marioing anymore.
Right.
They had to change it because the technology was better. Super Mario World is the last. Go here, do the level. Go here, do the level.
Yeah.
So maybe it's that.
We're about to have a third co-star here.
He said Rabbit Rampage sucks. But he's not on me. Blue, say hi to the people. If you could. Say hi to the people. There you go.
I'll tell you what, he's about to introduce himself to you.
Hey, easy with that hot cock, Blue. God. Good Lord.
Well, did you play Sega? Were you a Sega kid at all? Did you get to play any Sega?
Sega was Sega's post-mortem for me. Is that what you say? No, I
think you're still alive. I don't know if you're using that term right.
Damn it. No, I have Genesis games now, but I didn't have Genesis games back then. I had the Super Nintendo as a child, but now I have a Genesis.
You know what? Let's slide over to Game Boy.
Oh.
Because that's a system that doesn't get much love.
The OG Game Boy doesn't get much love.
OG Game Boy. Now, like, OG Game Boy, it's...
Don't mind him.
OG Game Boy is got to be... sorry if you're listening to this. There's
it's a constant attack.
We are under siege.
Just ignore him. Let's keep going.
So it would be. I'm blanking on. It was the Zelda, Link's Awakening.
Link's Awakening on Game Boy.
Because I went back and played that again. I remember playing that as a kid and just playing it and no clue what I'm doing.
Yeah. Because you had to wake up that fish and then the whole thing's a dream. A lot of Nintendo games went through that it's all a dream phase.
Well,
like Super Mario 2.
Well, that's because Super Mario 2 isn't really a Super Mario game.
Yeah, it's Doki Doki Panic reskinned.
So they went, all right, how do we say all this stuff? Oh, it's a dream.
I'll tell you what the best Game Boy game is as far as probably selling systems was that fucking Tetris.
Well, yeah, but Tetris... Is you going to say Tetris is your favorite Game Boy game?
No, I'm not. I hate Tetris. That's stupid. Why would anyone say that?
Well, why'd you even bring it up?
Because you have to. It came with the system. You couldn't buy the Game Boy. And
that's like someone saying, well, you know what was my favorite NES game? Duck Hunt.
Yep. You're right.
No, but so what was your favorite Game Boy game?
My favorite Game Boy game... It's weird. It's a little bit of what's going on now, a little bit of wrestling. There's actually a really good wrestling game on the Game Boy, and it's a WCW game. I'm pretty sure it's called Main Event, but it could be something called even more generic. But just Sting's on the front, and for what it is, it's probably the game I played the most on the original Game Boy, except for like Mario Land.
Yeah.
But
I never really played Mario Land. For some reason, Mario and the Game Boy didn't translate well to me.
No, it's way different, and I wouldn't call it my favorite, but it's the best time waster.
Yeah, because it was that, and then you moved to the other Game Boy, like the more advanced ones, but not Game Boy Advanced, but it was Pokemon.
Yeah,
to
me that's the best game on the system. The reason I didn't say Pokemon Blue is because we're intentionally not saying the best. Those kinds of games when we list our favorites.
Because to me, Pokemon was still because you had the OG Game Boy.
Yeah.
And I didn't play Pokemon until I got a Game Boy Color.
See, I had Blue. I had Pokemon Blue. But I feel like what we're doing when we say our favorite game is what we mean is our favorite game that's not the mainline games.
Well, for Game Boy, I don't really have one. All of them were mainline because I don't think it was they were so expensive. Like we had to go.
Well, then I'll change my answer because it's Pokemon Blue.
Yeah,
absolutely, it's Pokemon Blue.
Yeah, I had Pokemon Red.
Yeah,
but that was it. Like, yeah,
and I had Yellow too, but not Red.
Then I'll say my Sega one because I grew up with a Sega.
Yeah.
And I watched an AVGN video where they talked about how bad this game was, and it really bothered me. Let me get the exact name for it.
Okay.
It was a Eternal Beast or
Altered Beast.
Altered Beast. Yeah. Yes. And it was just a little side scroller thing where you'd fight until all of a sudden you morphed into an animal, and then it was like, yes,
yeah,
and you just fought, and it was like the graphics were crazy, and I was like, oh, this game's amazing, and then like he was like, oh, this game sucks, like you can't do nothing. I'm like, nope, you don't understand, you don't get it,
beauty.
You don't get it, man.
You don't understand me.
I thought you got video games, man.
My favorite Sega game is actually one of the games that was also on the Super Nintendo, but the Sega version turned out better.
Well, that was when there were a lot of games that
were on both.
For some reason, Sega would either do something that would make it just a little bit better, or like the NES version just played a little bit cleaner, so it was weird.
Well, the Super Nintendo had more power. Even they were the same bits, but like, you remember the AVGN episode where he does the music on Doom on both, and like on Sega Genesis it sounds like beep, 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 and on Super Nintendo it sounds like a real track. Dun,
yeah.
Dun, dun. It's kind of stuff like that. But forget Sonic 2. You remember the Spider-Man game Maximum Carnage?
Yeah.
It was a fighter. The Sega version of that game is way better than the Super Nintendo version of that game, if you ask me.
Right.
That's the best Sega game. Or Splatterhouse.
Okay.
But I like Maximum Carnage.
I could say that. I can see that. I mean, everyone's probably going to say Sonic 2 is going to be the greatest of all time.
But the only reason I shit-can the Sonic games, unpopular opinion, coming in, prepare yourselves, the Sonic games that came out on the Game Boy Advance are way better than the Sega Genesis Sonic games. Ring the alarm for unpopular opinion alert because I said it.
Let's see, like Toe Jam and Earl. Yeah, that was like a
Earthworm Jim.
Earthworm Jim. You know, you had Ghouls and Ghosts. That was a big one on there. Like all the Disney, like Aladdin and Lion King. Of course,
that's one of the things. Like the Aladdin game on Super Nintendo and on Sega Genesis. They might as well be completely different games. They are not the same game.
Right.
It's crazy. That's kind of what it is with Maximum Carnage. It's not so much that they're not side-scrolling beat-em-ups. It's that the controls are better and the enemies are a little different and this and that, and who knows why.
Yeah.
Because now if you buy a game on the PS4 or the Xbox One, it's the same game. It's just got the little
it's like the only version that's different is the PC version anymore. So let's move on to the next generation. So we've done Super Nintendo, we've done Game Boy, kind of early age Game Boy. Yeah. We're not going to do all of the Game Boys.
No.
That's too many Game Boys. No. We've done Sega. Yeah. Let's move on to the Nintendo 64.
Who also was the winner of the number 64 last week.
It was. And if you missed last week, I'll let you go first for Nintendo 64.
The Nintendo 64. Oh God, you're really putting me on the spot.
Here I'll go with mine.
Yeah, because 64 is my largest collection.
It splits between two.
Okay.
And we've played them both, I think. Number one is 1080 snowboarding.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Because you picked the wrong guy.
I don't know why. I love.
Yeah, but you play with the wrong character.
No, I play with the good character.
No, you play with the wrong character.
Because I've won. I won all the time.
Yeah, and I didn't, but he's still the coolest.
And then, like, Conker's Bad Fur Day. Those were my two.
Okay, yeah.
And I've seen people say if you go back and play Conker, it's not as good as you remember, but it will always be as good as I remember.
Yeah. Well, people... Conker is a good game. people just try to pawn it off like, oh, they put naughty stuff in it, and that's why you think it's cool, because when you were a kid, you just thought naughty stuff was cool. No, it's actually pretty good.
No, it was a good game. It was edgy in ways that need to be edgy. Like, you had the whole, like, teddy bear thing. It was,
he didn't like teddy bears. But, so my favorite N64 game is Banjo-Kazooie. Banjo-Kazooie 1.
I could see that.
That's my favorite one.
I have a funny story about Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah?
So, my mom played Banjo-Kazooie.
Okay.
Like, I saw it won because my mom beat Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh, okay.
But she didn't listen to the sound. She turned the TV volume all the way down.
Because of the voices?
And she played Coldplay, their first album. So to me, I watched Banjo and Kazooie, and all I hear is, and it was all yellow.
What? That's like, we need to get her a CAT scan. That's not a thing people do. That's like on par with the kids that like cut the tails off of cats. My God, we need to get her scanned. We need to get her head checked out. She's got hemorrhage.
Yeah, I don't know what she just didn't like the game sound.
You turned the sound? I could see you being annoyed by there not being voice acting and it all being right, yeah. It's like if we could have a conversation in Banjo-Kazooie characters right now. Like, and you're like, oh, no, of course.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I don't know if she just liked the album and she just started listening to it.
Yeah, I love this Coldplay album. We play this cartoon bear game.
But my mom beat Banjo-Kazooie during the Super Bowl that the Ravens blew out because it was a blowout and she turned it off.
So the Super Bowl is not being watched. Super Bowl on, also with no sound.
Ooh-wee.
Ooh-wee. Banjo-Kazooie on the TV on mute, and damn it all if Coldplay's not back there. The most appropriate thing to listen to while Banjo-Kazooie is being played and the Super Bowl is on.
And it was the Super Bowl that Ray Lewis was in.
That's insane. That doesn't even make sense. All right, ooh-wee. And then, of course, the Mystical Ninja.
Mystical Ninja.
Is always going to be there because sometimes you got to whack some snatch.
Sometimes you got to whack some snatch.
I didn't say your favorite N64 game.
My favorite N64 game is...
Wildlife Country Club Golf.
It is not Wildlife Country Club Golf. Okay, I'm going to take... Basically, this whole episode is because of Wildlife Country Club Golf.
That is actually the
So
reason.
there's a game. I don't know if you like the game of golf and you like vintage games. This is one that should not be anywhere near your video game collection.
What are you saying right now?
I'm saying this is the worst golf game I've ever played.
You're a crazy person.
So here's the crazy thing about Wildlife Country Club Golf.
That you actually have to be good at it?
How many courses are in Wildlife Country Club Golf?
Do you want me to answer that honestly?
Honestly.
There's one 18-hole course.
There's one 18. You play Wildlife Country Club Golf. Now, let's just say, you want to play this game. You know what? It's N64. Yeah. We're just going to play one course.
Yeah.
Let me pick my golfer.
Well, you can.
You can pick your golfer from an array of letters.
There are 16 ready-to-go golfers. Only 4 character models.
Just different colored pants.
And they are all named just 2 letters. And they aren't 2 letters that could be an abbreviation of a name.
Nope.
One guy is like YT.
Yeah. And you play a tournament.
Yeah.
You play against Jay Tallahassee.
Yeah.
Like you play against real names. They couldn't program these names.
When the leaderboard comes up, it's like Jimmy Stoops, Reginald Hightower,
YT,
KF. And then you're like, oh, of course.
So and you have to be pixel perfect
on
your hits.
So just so everybody gets a relatable thing, the way you drive or hit any of your shots is like you're kicking off in Madden.
Yeah, except if someone was kicking you in the nuts at the same time.
Right. And if you didn't... Imagine if the area that you had to stop the cursor in wasn't
a full pixel.
Right. It was... Instead of it being 4 times the size of the cursor, it's actually smaller than the cursor.
Yeah. Oh, you wanted to drive? Oh, the wind is blowing 14 miles per hour into your face.
Yeah, hard left.
Oh, and the next person lines up for his shot? oh, it's 15 miles per hour for
Straight
them.
ahead, yeah. Yeah, we played a hole once where you had 22 mile an hour wind back right, blowing at you and back to the right. You swung, and then mine was 2 mile an hour wind straight ahead.
It's unbalanced.
It's Hawaii, my guy.
Now, to be fair,
unpredictable.
To be fair, the last time we played, I was winning.
Right.
Until Blue knocked the N64 off.
All the way off the deal.
And it just shut it down.
Yep. But that shows you the N64 is a tank, because I just put it back on the thing and turned it on, and it went, bing, Wildlife Country Club.
Yeah, drop your PlayStation 4 like that.
Yeah, no thank you. But yeah, I think pretty safe to say I'm going Banjo-Kazooie, Legend of the Mystical Ninja.
I'm going to go Conquer, because I do think it was a better game than 1080, but 1080 holds a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
And greatest of all time, it's GoldenEye. Next song.
Yeah, the only possible contender on GoldenEye would be Ocarina.
Basically just the collection of Rare in that time.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
Perfect Dark.
And Mario Tennis.
Mario Tennis.
I'm so good at Mario Tennis. It's
unrealistically good at Mario Tennis.
I'm so good at Mario Tennis that if they had a professional Mario Tennis trophy with a bunch of Japanese guys in Japan who've done nothing but play Mario Tennis for their entire childhood, adolescence, and adult lives, I'm fully confident I would waltz into that showroom and sit down and sweep the tournament without anybody scoring a point.
I actually, you know what? Let's make that should be the TSB challenge. Do you want to challenge the man, the myth, the man?
Oh, that's me.
Jake D.
At Mario Tennis?
At Mario Tennis. Now, I will let you train. I will let you know.
As long as you want.
Who you're playing against.
You're playing against me.
And you're playing against Luigi.
Luigi, set to left-handed, and I'm charging the net. You won't score a point.
It's disgusting. And I was like, okay. I played Mario Tennis. I'm pretty good at this. I think I did score 1 point.
No, you didn't.
I scored a point.
You did not.
I might not have.
Because that was part of why it was so funny. I said, I'm so good at Mario Tennis, it's not okay. I don't know why I'm this good at it. And I was like, Ben, you won't score. And you went, oh, like win a game? And I said, no, like a single point. And you went, no way. Oh, my God, this isn't fun.
No, it wasn't fun. I turned it off.
Yeah.
Like Rage Quit turned it off.
Right. And there was nothing you could do. It's not your fault.
No.
That's just, some of us have God-given talent, and mine's Mario Tennis. With left-handed Luigi, and I charge the net.
The next system, now I played PlayStation.
PlayStation 1?
PlayStation 1.
I played enough of it to have a favorite game, but not enough of it to maybe accurately tell you what the best PlayStation game was.
Right. Nope.
I have a tie for my favorite PlayStation 1 game. OG Spyro, and I really liked Crash Bandicoot's kart racer.
Ah, the cooter.
Yeah.
Crash Bandicoot.
I liked but just the kart racer game that he had, the Nitro Kart or whatever it was. That was really good. But I'll say Spyro.
So the original PlayStation,
yeah.
I remember we got one. Now, I had a funny story. We had an original PlayStation. We sold it and bought an N64. So I actually had PlayStation before I had N64.
Okay.
Shorter window. But with the PlayStation, my all-time favorite game on PlayStation was NHL 99.
Oh, my God.
Now, and my mom beat my butt in it. But the best game was Grand Theft Auto London.
Really?
I love that game. That was the old top-down Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, like the first two before Grand Theft Auto 3 came out.
Grand Theft Auto London, and it was part of when we bought it because we walked into Babbage's.
Oh, I miss Babbage's hard.
I was with my cousin Ryan.
Yeah.
And he bought it. And we walked in, we went to his mom and said, hey, we need you to come buy this game. And she goes, why? It's like, oh, because it's in the case. You just have to come down and buy it.
Yeah, you got to.
We didn't tell her. It's because this game is M for mature, my guys.
Oh, my guy.
So she comes down, buys it, has no clue what she's getting. Now, he's old. He's a couple years older than me. Not like infinitely older, but maybe 2 years older than me.
Yeah.
So he gets it. He goes and gets it, and we just play it for hours and hours. And it was like I'd leave and come back over and spend the night and just play it more for hours. And it was nothing now. Like, if you compare that Grand Theft Auto
oh my God,
to the Grand Theft Auto of today,
yeah,
we're just driving a top-down car. Like, oh, steal that car. It has some type of pixel that makes it look like a Corvette.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It was nothing.
Oh, did you see that? That one's 2 colors. Must have a racing stripe.
I like that game. And
now Grand Theft Auto 5 is a full remapping of Los Angeles, California. You talk about a pixel perfect remake. Oh my God. But PlayStation 1. Now, what about Medieval? Did you ever play that?
I didn't. I went through like a weird stretch where I wasn't like into like fantasy or knights or anything like that.
Well, it's that goofy game where the skeleton has the buck front teeth. You know what I'm talking about?
No, never played it.
No, you know what I'm talking about though.
Sure.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure do.
Yeah, that's right, you do.
Well, because everybody's Final Fantasy VII.
Oh yeah.
Is the PlayStation 1. Like that's
that or and it's probably less popular, but everybody raves about it. It's the sequel to Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross.
Right, and you had Metal Gear Solid. Like, you had so many much
Metal
better
Gear
games.
Solid 1.
So many better games on there than what, I remember, like, Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
And how it was like a racing simulator, and you had to, like, earn license, and you had, like, 9 memory cards just to be able to complete the game.
Yeah, because it wouldn't load otherwise.
Yeah, like, there were really good games, like Driver was in Tony Hawk.
Tony Hawk. The OG Tony Hawk.
Now, I think of Tony Hawk more as a PlayStation 2. I think that's going to be my favorite PlayStation 2 stuff is Tony Hawk.
My Tony Hawk experience is the old blue cartridge on the 64.
Ew.
Don't ew me.
64 Tony Hawk?
Don't ew me, I said to you out loud. Yes. Tony Hawk on the 64. It looks the same. What are you talking about?
It's not the same. PlayStation ran that game clean.
Oh, why?
Plus, you had a much better soundtrack.
On the plant, was it different?
Yeah. Because Nintendo wouldn't let certain anarchy punk rock songs on their system, my guy.
Because Nintendo has some goddamn class. That's why. Not
because
everybody likes
you could take the PlayStation
Pistols,
game
Benjamin.
And throw it into your CD player, and you could play the whole soundtrack.
I don't like that works. Did that really work?
Yeah, that really worked.
I don't like that information. Oh, my God. Yeah, a little water right there in case you heard me swallow ooey.
Yeah, after the dog fighting that was going on in the background.
Yeah, Jesus, I feel like Michael Vick. It was insane.
He was just attacking you the entire time. And you played it like a consummate professional.
Yeah, you might be able to hear it, but you might not. And then I silently scolded him, and now he's laying here very peacefully. Or he wore himself out finally.
Yeah.
But either way, opposable thumbs won. Dipshit fucking dogs nothing. Golly. You know what? Now I sympathize with Michael Vick. Who should... that's another one we missed. Number 7. No,
David Beckham.
Not over Beckham or Ronaldo or Elway? Huh. But, PlayStation 1, not enough experience.
Well, that's what I mean when it comes to our personal favorites.
But I do know Spyro. I like Spyro. I blew a gasket when they remastered Spyro.
Yeah.
Not so much for Crash, because I didn't play Crash. I played the kart Crash, but I didn't play the Crash games.
Yeah.
But when they remastered Spyro like they did Crash, erection.
The next we're going to do is the PlayStation 2.
Yes.
Now, this one we might stick on because I still play my PlayStation 2.
Well, the PlayStation 2 has the actual... I might be wrong, but at least it's close. I think it's got the most North American releases for all systems.
It was something just finally... Like, they just finally stopped making PlayStation 2 games.
Yeah. Altogether.
Yeah. They
were still making PAL PlayStation 2 games.
Yeah.
Oh, this is gonna. We're gonna have to. We're gonna
now,
have a
I know,
long-form debate this until I think of my favorite PlayStation 2 game. You know what I mean?
I know what my favorite PlayStation 2 game is.
Don't say San Andreas to me.
No.
Don't say Vice City to me.
It's not that.
Don't say Grand Theft Auto 3 to me.
It's not Grand Theft Auto at all. It's NHL Hits.
Stop it.
It's so good, and you know it.
You can't back it. We can't go to PlayStation and PlayStation 2, the largest fucking library in the history of video game systems, and you say hockey to me.
NHL Hits surpassed hockey. NHL Hits.
Everything surpasses hockey.
NHL Hits
hockey
was such a
sucks.
good game that you can't find people who are like, when everyone's talking about, oh, what's your greatest play? Oh, Siphon Filter or some Tomb Raider game or something or other, or blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you're all wrong. It's NHL Hits. Every person goes, oh, God, yeah, that game ruled. Because it did. 3-on-3 hockey with a goaltender. You could put 3 people through the glass. You scored points. The career mode was amazing. You built up your team as you went. You could create all your players. You had legends of the game in there. Steve Yzerman.
Do you need an oxygen tank?
Yeah, because I'm hyperventilating over how exciting I am about thinking about this game.
No, it's because of how much breath you just fucking wasted trying to defend that a goddamn hockey game is the best game on the PlayStation 2. Look, listen to me and listen to me closely. NHL Hits is a fine game. Anyone that wants to play hockey in any sort of arcadey way, you should definitely go out. You should try to find an old copy of it. You should pick it up. You got to turn your PlayStation 2 sideways because it's got the old purple bottom on it. And you want to make sure that it'll spin the right way. But I swear to God, if you say that the best video game made on the PlayStation 2 is a fuck hockey game, I'm going to stab you.
So I didn't say it was the best game. I said it was my favorite game.
Right, implying that you think it's good?
It's great.
It's a good hockey game. It's a good sports game. It's a good time filler. But you're going to pick NHL Hits for your do you not have a PlayStation 2, really?
I did. I still have it. You've come over to my house. You've played it.
Yeah, and you've got 2 games, NCAA football and NHL Hits.
Yeah, NCAA football's a good game, too.
Yeah, this is why you're skewed. You don't have any... Oh, my God.
No, I have lots of games. I have Devil May Cry.
Oh, I'm so proud of you.
I have Eagle Spirit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that game.
So, I used to work at a GameStop, and what would happen is...
And apparently wasted your employee discounts.
Certain games would just get pennied out, which means once they reached a penny, we could just throw them away, or we could buy them for a penny. So anytime a game got pennied out, I bought it and gave it a shot.
Yeah, no matter what it was.
No matter what it was.
We've played some games.
Like, I have...
what was that game called?
Hunter...
Oh, we're close.
Hunted... I can't think of it, but it was that classic. It's the type of game that I loved that they don't make anymore.
Yeah,
where
it's kind of like, and I hate to say this out loud, but it's kind of formatted like X-Men Legends or like Marvel.
Yeah, it's like a rogue. What do they call those? Like a top-down rogue.
Yeah, roguelike.
Yeah, but it's more.
It's a little.
The camera's a little bit more fluid.
Yeah,
it's a little bit more. You're at the level. It's not quite over top, but you.
It's like a 3/4.
Yeah, you picked different characters that had different abilities. You found your weapons. You leveled up. You powered up. You had super powers, and you just basically killed everything you could find.
Yeah, it was essentially a beat 'em up, but it wasn't beating 'em up. It was you were shooting her like a guy who would have a sword.
It was Hunter something. Like it was...
Yeah.
Oh, here it is.
Oh, God.
Hunter the Reckoning.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, and it was... You had like the priest. You had like a crazy guy, classic dual wielding. Then you had like the Native American biker.
Right, which is who I was.
Yeah. But it was weird because things wouldn't render in all the way.
Right.
And you kept getting stuck on poles that were clear. Because the way we were looking, it just made it invisible.
Yeah. As soon as you moved half a second off and gave the camera a bit of space, it would render the whole beam in. Yeah. Like the whole girder would show up. But if you walked half a centimeter to your right, an entire wall would be gone.
Yeah.
And you could see through to the next room, and you'd be trying to run through to it. Like, I don't understand. It's right here. And I'm like, no, you got to go through this door down here. And I'm like, well, I couldn't see it, game, because you saw. I read that the GameCube version of that game doesn't have any of those glitches.
Why would you play it then? That's what made it half the fun.
Oh, I know that. And now the people know that.
Like that, and I got like the Da Vinci Code, which
Oh, my
is
God.
the worst game.
You did have that game. We couldn't figure that out. That's the best. PlayStation 2 is when you start walking, or not walk. PlayStation 2 has enough library where you remember sometimes we'll get on Netflix and we'll start digging through the indie films.
Oh yeah.
That's PlayStation 2's library. You got the top dogs, but you can find some incredible shit. And it's amazing.
Well, I think PlayStation 2 was that was the first system that brought, like, really it changed kind of the landscape of games, because it felt like anybody could make a game. Like, there's this old James Bond game that was almost like a rail shooter.
Nightfire.
Yeah. That game is awesome.
Yeah, Nightfire is pretty good.
Now, like, if you went back and played it right now, the controllers are kind of wonky, and there's not much to it. Like, you just beat it. Like, you just go through it, and you beat it.
Yeah.
You have all these things. It's like, oh, you have all these gadgets. What do I do? And it's like, oh, the grappling hook just tells you when to use the grappling hook, and you just, like, go there now.
Right.
But it was fun. Like, the racing levels, and there were shooting levels. It was all kinds of different games in one. I feel like that was the first system that really let you do all of that stuff.
Yeah, it really is. The PlayStation 2 really you could do anything on, even the racing games. You've got Gran Turismo and you've got MotoStorm.
Right.
You've got the arcade racer, you've got the simulator racer, and you've got every kind of racer in between. I've got this stupid game called Gadget Racers that I found at a Babbage's.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Babbage's. But it was called Gadget Racers, and I had rented it from a Blockbuster and went, when I discovered there was game stores that had these old games, I went, oh, okay, I'll go there and I'll look for it. It's the only game I own that doesn't have the actual cover, because I'm a snob and won't buy it if it doesn't have the actual case. But it's like just a stupid, very cartoony, but the cars look like my car that I have on that game that I was building up. It looks like a Porsche. Obviously, they can't call it a Porsche.
Right.
Sorry, Porsche for the nerds, but it's a Porsche. Shut up. And you put little wings on it. You can fly sometimes, and you can put little, the snow tread on it so you can get through the snow better. But it's just a dumb, arcadey racing game. But then you can also play Need for Speed.
Yeah. Well, like, that's the thing. With PlayStation 2, I could say all these better games that I played that I loved, but just sheer amount of time, because probably the best game I've ever played on PlayStation 2, and that was when you'd go to Hollywood. I only owned like 10 games. We'd go to Hollywood Video on Friday night.
Oh.
Go pick out a game to rent.
Yeah.
And the problem is, if you go on Friday night, everything's already gone.
Already gone. You wasted time.
So I went and rented a game that just sat there. It's called Fatal Frame 2.
Oh, no.
And I went, what's this little little game?
You've made a mistake. A horrible error.
And that was the first game I played out of order.
Because you're squeamish.
Oh, I'm a squeamish.
You're squeamish.
I love horror games.
Yeah.
They're probably my favorite thing in the world.
You're not squeamish. You're just easily startled.
I love the startle.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. Dead Space, give it to me. I love it. But it was the first game. It was like, oh, here's your weapon. It's a camera. Oh, how do you defeat? Oh, you can't just blindly fire. You need to focus and probably focus on their face.
Oh, no.
That's how you really get them. And it was just the atmosphere and I mean, you put it on now, graphics look terrible.
Oh, yeah.
But there was nothing more terrifying, because I lived where I played my video games. Let me set the stage.
Set it up.
It's an old attic, pitch ceiling.
That was enough. Old attic.
Completely.
You got him.
Now, it was redone. They made it a room.
Okay.
Top floor, old house.
Yeah.
In Chivois.
Oh, yeah.
The ceilings were too low to actually have a chair, so we just had an old mattress.
Oh, no. You did the Indian style.
Indian style, and it was those old TVs that sat on the floor.
Yep.
that had like the whole deal.
Like an old Magnavox.
And it was just that plugging everything in. It was dark. You could hear everything.
You had the only PlayStation 2 ever hooked up by coaxial.
We had it was a tin roof, so if anything hit the and I'm there.
Oh no.
You just heard pow. And I'll never forget playing it, pitch black, completely terrified, and all of a sudden like little kids start laughing, and I just turned it off. I just went, nope, I'm done.
Yeah, anyone that has played Fatal Frame 2 just shit their pants. And anyone that hasn't played Fatal Frame 2, see if you can find a copy of Fatal Frame 2 and then do what he just described. And
because
you'll shit your pants.
You have to play it. You can't watch it.
No.
There's something about being in the dark and just playing this game. It's so unsettling.
I haven't played it for myself. I've seen it. I know about it. But I watched you play it. Not nearly as nerve-wracking. Now, I'm not as easily nerve-wracked anyway. Usually if something startles me, it's not an image. It's that sharp, cutting, loud sound that they do. But, like, watching you do it, I know you with the focus on, where do I go? How do I do this? Now I got to look through the camera. Now I got to look for this. And me just watching you do that overhead, I'm like, oh, here comes the ghost. Meanwhile, you're thinking about, do you need to heal? Do you need this and that?
Right.
And all of a sudden you're like, oh God.
Yeah, I love it.
PlayStation 2. God, I was hoping to use all that time to figure mine out because as PlayStation 2's library is so massive. I think if you made me... What PlayStation 2 game do I play the most?
The guy game.
No.
That's a thing, though.
I know it is.
I almost bought it for a penny. It sells for like...
Yeah, it's so rare.
Like $150 right now.
Well, you know why, right? You know the story.
Well, because there's an underage girl on it.
Right,
and
yeah.
it's pulled from shelves.
Yeah. They basically destroyed all the copies of their game, as they should, because Chris Hansen went and collected them all.
Right.
Like...
Personally.
Yeah. And apparently
for
it was
research.
like... Wasn't it some weird thing where like their excuse was like, oh, it was in Germany and the German laws are different, like you can be 16 instead of 18 or whatever it was, but
I can't
it's
like
still
the
weird.
thing is when the game released, she was old enough, but when the picture was taken, she wasn't.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just remembered that there was a thing where one of the girls was underage and still too old for me, you know. Ooh-wee, bud. But the PlayStation 2, I'd have to lean towards. It was one of those games where, like, again, the cover made me go, you know what, I bet I'd like that game. And then I got it, and I actually liked that game. There's this game called Maximo that I really like.
I have like the condom size?
No.
Magnum.
Yes.
Maximo.
It's what it's supposed to be is what they bill it as is a sequel to Ghosts and Goblins. But it's not. It's like it plays more like it's your regular run of the mill action. You run around with a sword and kill stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I mean that's all it is. But it's not. But they say it's the same vein as.
Like if you're doing lore and universe,
right?
It's the same
he's
universe.
The ancestor of the guy,
right?
But it's actually just like your run of the mill. As far as gameplay goes, it's your run of the mill action game. It's not really action RPG. It's just you got a sword and you're a warrior and you have
Take 44. Warrior.
And you have to defeat the skeleton army or whatever it is. But it's actually for a PlayStation 2 game, it's old school hard. Like most of the times, PlayStation 2's the era games started to get forgiving because you could save.
Right, you could save almost anywhere.
But this game is old school hard at a point.
And that's, I just don't like okay, I don't like hard games.
You don't like Superman on the Sega Genesis hard?
That's no.
Unrealistically hard.
Right. Because to me, I play games and I'll divulge something about sports games, and I think we both can agree. We play at a lower difficulty than our talent ability.
Right. I don't want to play on all Madden. I want it to be a video game.
Well, when I create a player, I want them to be the best player that's ever played.
Right.
And nothing is more frustrating than playing a baseball game on a super all-star pro, being a Major League Baseball player, going to the minor leagues, not being able to hit it out of the infield, and muffing everything hit to you.
Right, because they actually make you start. So the only complaint about the show was they make you start so bad is you wouldn't have played professional baseball if you were that bad.
Right. Instead of just making it harder to get better,
right,
they make it you start so bad that you'll get so good. No, you don't get that good that late in life.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be Barry Bonds, you're Bonds at 12.
Right.
And then you just figure it out as you go.
Bryce Harper is a real-life human being. He jumped in the show at 19 or 20, and he was hitting 40 bombs.
Right.
I should be able to make a video game character that also does that.
Yeah.
But you can't. It's like, oh, you're in Double-A Saskatoon, and you can't field a lick. But if
you're a major league pitcher who relies on his fastball
at
83.
77, yeah. But it's like, well, I'll tell you the one that I had a problem with. Like, I had my sports games experience are, if I buy a sports video game, I bought the sports video game just to have a video game version of the sport. Ben always cracks on me because I don't have the newest Madden. I don't have the newest MLB The Show. I just have the one that I have because it's just about playing video game baseball for me. I don't need the rosters to be new. I don't need the new features. I'm playing against my buddy or I'm creating myself and playing a career. So, like, the only version of the show the most recent version of the show that I have and still play because I ignore the one you bought me, I have 2014. That's all I've got. You bought me 2017. It sucks.
It doesn't suck.
It sucks ass, dude.
It's way good.
Not Road to the Show.
You can have a semi-flat bill.
Oh, well. That means it's horrible.
That means it's rock hard.
Yucky. But, like, that's a perfect example of how they tried to get too complicated. MLB The Show 14. You create your player. You pick what position he is. You start. Now, same complaint. You're too shitty to actually have played professional baseball, but you get good right away. It was like the first game where they took out this point where they would only let you get points if you got good at these certain things. Where you
had to do certain tasks.
You bat third for the Yankees, and they're like, we really need you to get better at drag bunting. And you're like, yeah, whatever. But the 14s just put your points where you want to.
Yeah, I hit dingers.
Yeah, ew-wee. But 17, made myself a position. I go with third base on the video game because that's my softball thing. And then the Rockies are who drafted me. They take me like immediately to the major leagues, move me to left field because that's where they could bring me to the major leagues the fastest, which was already a sin. It's a video game. I picked third base. Can I play third base in the video game like I fucking wanted to? Why would the video game move me to left field like this is real? I don't know. I picked third. I picked third base. Let me play third base. Hey, look. Look, we know that you're a third baseman, but we can get you to the major leagues a whole lot faster to fit our team needs if we move you to left field. Are you okay with that? Good. So breathe it in, play some left field. Look at this. Look how quickly you made it to the major leagues. Okay, you played 10 games here. We moved your position to bring you to the major leagues specifically. Let's trade you to the Mariners! That doesn't make sense.
Maybe to the Mariners it did.
Well, we. But it's trying to get too cute. It's trying to get too realistic. Oh, you got to check your Twitter feed. You got Twitter fans. You got this and that. I don't give a fuck. I just want to play the video game baseball. Just let me play the video game baseball. Come on. Oh, speaking of video game baseball, Ben, how could you forget the best sports game ever made on the PlayStation 2, Curt Schilling's High Heat Baseball?
That game is the worst. Curt Schilling's High Heat Baseball has a replay mode on it. Now, let me tell you why this was a bad move on his part.
Yeah.
If you play a normal baseball game, you watch a pitch come in, you swing when it's about at the plate,
yep,
and you hit it. In Curt Schilling's baseball, that's not the case.
No, you swing whenever you goddamn feel like it.
And the game just decides when you hit the ball.
That's right.
I've watched a ball. The batter swung.
Mm-hmm.
The ball starts to cross the plate.
Yep.
And then it goes out.
That's right.
The timing wasn't real timing.
No.
For some reason, they timed when you're actually supposed to swing and the ball at different times.
Yeah.
And you could watch the replay. And I would swing at the time that the ball goes across the plate, and you could watch the ball move out of the way of the bat.
You really could. Now, see, when you're playing the actual game, all looks normal and well.
Right.
But when you go into that replay, sometimes it's looked like you've swung, and it's like the ball's lighter than air because you didn't actually make contact, but you swung so hard that the wind pushed it out. Where you're like...
Or sometimes you would swing and the ball never even got close to the bat and would just start going the other direction.
Right. Or you would swing way early, and it would chop it down the opposite field baseline, and you're like,
Well, what was the time I went and the outfielder goes to catch it, and it just went right through his glove.
Literally,
just right
through
his glove. Didn't react like the fielder wasn't even there. Just right through his glove.
And that was what we saw in the replay because we couldn't tell. You were standing in the circle where the ball was going to come down and we were going to win this game. And it froze you. Like, on any other baseball game, when you get in the circle and it freezes you, they're like, oh, good, you did it. Now the ball will come in there. You ran and it froze you and you couldn't run anymore, and the ball just landed, and the center fielder, who you were, just stayed stuck.
Oh, it made like the left fielder
run
come all the way
across. Yeah, because you were stuck in the animation, and it wouldn't let you switch players until the video game figured out to go get the ball.
Yeah. Between that and Mike Piazza.
Oh, Mike Piazza's baseball in the Nintendo 64 is haunted.
We could literally do an entire show on just video game baseball.
We really could, because we've played so much of it.
And I enjoy, I didn't even talk about Griffey or Slugfest.
Yeah, or the Miracle Mets.
The Miracle Mets. Which brings us to the next system.
Yeah.
Because I didn't own an Xbox.
Well, quick, we didn't pick the best game on the PlayStation 2. We just picked our favorites. Maximo for me and NHL Hits for you.
There's too many games to decide.
What's the staple? What's the PlayStation 2 system seller? Is it Resident Evil 2?
No, it's Final Fantasy 2.
Final Fantasy
7.
Okay, good. We did it. We moved on.
I didn't own an Xbox.
I didn't own an OG Xbox either, so it's
we'll just say
PlayStation
Halo.
3.
Halo 2.
Halo 1. Halo 1 or Halo 2. Got it.
PlayStation 3.
PlayStation 3. For me, this is an easy one.
And we won't even do PlayStation 4.
No.
Because it's too current. There's still... until that's out.
Right.
So we'll probably end on PlayStation 3.
And Xbox 360.
And Xbox 360.
Let's do Xbox 360 first, because PlayStation 3 is better.
And I only say that because I didn't actually own an Xbox 360 that long.
I've got one.
And
also not long.
The only time I've ever... okay, so I had an Xbox 360 and a PlayStation 3 at the same time for a little bit.
Yeah.
And the Xbox 360 barely got turned on. It was like to play Gears of War.
See, here's the problem with Xbox 360. Best game, when we settle on that, probably just going to be Halo 3.
I would say...
I was big on Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2.
I played that
really
on PC, so I didn't play that on that console.
Oh, so you're one of those guys.
Yeah.
You like to use your mouse for something other than finding porn.
Not really, no. You're telling me you didn't diddle yourself to Left 4 Dead?
Only when The Witch came out.
Oh,
and that's just because I like the sound of a woman crying.
It was the spitter for me.
Oh, yeah.
No, but I didn't play it that. It's odd. I had it like Fable.
Oh, Fable, yeah.
Fable 3, I think, was the other one I really loved. But Minecraft, the first time I ever played Minecraft was when you bought it. Or you didn't even buy it. When someone else bought it for you.
This is a great story. This is 100% true story. The journey into playing Minecraft goes back a ways. So, me and a friend of ours that shall remain nameless still.
Until he buys a hoodie.
Till he buys a sleeveless hoodie. He was telling me, so his little brother was playing Minecraft on PC when it was in alpha. So you couldn't even do anything except move the blocks around.
Yeah.
And he was like, you got to see this game. that my little brother plays. It's like, I don't understand what he's doing. And he just spends hours on it. And he keeps trying to tell me how good it is. And so I went over to his house once, and the little brother was down there, and he's on the PC, and we knocked just in case that wasn't what he was doing on the PC, but it was. He let us in. And we go in, and it's Minecraft, but it's alpha. It's so stripped down that nothing's happening except for he can move the blocks around. So he's building structures, but at the time it's Legos.
Right.
It's not even Legos. It's Connects, you know?
That's offensive.
Hey. And he's like going, yeah, it's really great. You can do this, and this one's stone, and this one's dirt. And it's like, yeah, I mean, I get it. But what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm just building this. Yeah, okay. But
for what?
But for what? What are you doing? So, yada, yada, fast forward. Guy texts me one day, and he says, hey, that Minecraft game that my brother plays, they just released it on Xbox. I bought it. It was $5. Come over here. We're going to play it. Okay. We'll see what this is about. Now, by that time, they'd added in some semblance of a goal. You didn't know how to beat the game.
Well, you couldn't.
No, not at the time. You couldn't beat the game. The Ender Dragon and all that didn't exist. But you could actually give yourself an objective. Like, oh, I want to build an iron door for this house. You can't just do but when the little brother was playing, it was alpha. It was just wood and dirt and stone. Like
right.
There were no options, and it was like you could build everything. You didn't have to go hunt for it. It was like okay, but like you could go to the Nether. So we knew we needed this obsidian. So we knew we had to go find diamond, and like you had things to do. You couldn't beat the game, but you had things to do. And it's like, all right, let's play this stupid game. We'll see what it is. This fucking stupid kids game. This fucking ridiculous, stupid kids game that nobody will ever... 8 hours later.
Yeah.
8 hours later.
And
so,
that's how you found me.
You started asking me about it.
So you brought it over to my house.
And I said, look, I'll bring it over, and and we'll play it a little bit, and then I had to go to baseball or softball or something.
Yeah, you went out of town.
Yeah. No, it was just one day that you had it.
Was it just one day? I feel like you were gone for a couple of days.
I think you're right. But either way, the same day is when we talked. So he was off work and this and that, and you can set the autosave feature. No autosave the world if you forget to do it. And you can set that for certain length of time. So I leave the Xbox with young Benjamin, and he goes, oh, man, I've been playing this game like this and that, and do. And for some reason it hit me that he texted me way, way, way later in the day. I said, Ben, how many times has that auto-saved while you were playing it? And he went, oh, I don't know, 5 or 6. And I went, 5? It's auto-saved 5 or 6 times? Yeah. Ben, do you know how long I have the auto-save feature set for? How long? 2 hours.
I played it, at least 10 to 12 hours straight.
Yeah.
And it was, I was like, I'll just kind of dick around over here because, okay, so this is how you do this. And I just started digging this giant, because you couldn't build that high.
Right.
But you could tunnel all the way down. And I created, this tunnel castle. And it was like, had all these different, and there was nothing to it. It wasn't fancy. It was just layer after layer after layer after layer, all the way to bedrock.
Yeah, that's how Minecraft gets you. You think it's stupid until you do something, and you've never felt a greater sense of accomplishment in your life.
Loved it. So that's my Xbox 360 favorite game because that's how I first played it.
My Xbox 360 favorite game is going to sound like a cop-out, but it's not. Oh, no, actually, my Xbox 360 favorite game is Left 4 Dead 2.
Why?
For sure. I was going to say Red Dead Redemption, just because that's the system I played it on. And I didn't play Red Dead, until 8 years after it came out. I didn't didn't go for it.
See, because I played Red Dead on the PlayStation.
Yeah, I was like, knock off Grand Theft Auto. I don't give a shit. And then somebody was like, dude, you got to play. I was like, I don't buy it now that I'm doing this retro collecting stuff. I'll get it. And I played it, and I was like, I might like this better than GTA.
Yeah, Red Dead there's something about that, riding the horses and just kind of exploring, because it was exploring the wilderness. It wasn't just like, oh, does that building look funny? It's like, oh, look, this tree over here. Yeah. The tree is speaking. Oh, my.
Directly to me.
So PlayStation 3, and this is going to be the last console, because I'm not counting anything current gen, because we don't know. Jury's still out.
Right.
Jury's still out.
We can do it for now. Let's do a quick for now. PlayStation 4, and then what do you have, Xbox One? Mine's PlayStation 4.
Yeah, I had Xbox One. I don't know. Again, the only PlayStation 4 I play is your PlayStation 4.
That's right.
Because this is where I fully separated to Xbox, because I played unreasonable amounts of FIFA.
Yes.
I currently don't have any console to play FIFA.
Yeah, you had to watch yourself.
But like EA was giving me access to career mode.
Well, if it's in the
far
game.
early.
It's in the game.
And I know some professional FIFA players.
Well, is it a couple or is it just one?
It's two.
Oh,
I know two.
Who's the other one?
Fiddle and Graham. I know FC Cincinnati's player.
I knew Graham.
Yeah, Fiddle.
Who's the other one?
Fiddle.
Fiddle. Violin, you mean?
Yeah.
Old fiddle.
Old fiddle.
Old fiddle.
But playing, because that's what they all played on, and we played pro clubs, so I had to get on Xbox One to play that. But my all-time favorite Xbox One game of all time that's not FIFA, that's a tough one.
Is it Rocket League? Oh. You're allowed to pick those kind of games in this gen, I think.
I love Rocket League.
I think the reason I'm okay with you picking those kind of games in this generation is also, like you said, it's what we say they're still going, but PlayStation 5 was announced. Like, it's almost...
Rocket League was... and other than FIFA that had the most playtime, that I enjoyed the most, was... Because for me, the Xbox One was a social game. I didn't play unless I was playing with other people at that point. Because I would get on, is anybody playing anything? No, I'm getting off.
Right.
And it was we played FIFA or we played Rocket League. And Rocket League was a game that I didn't have any PC that could play it. And we were watching people play it. And I went, I cannot wait to play this game. And then I played it. And then it turns out I was good at it. And so I loved playing it.
Yeah. And then I would help you be excellent at it.
You helped none.
That's false. I'm what they call a wild card.
And by wild card, he means you had no clue. Hey, I'm going to pass this to... Where are you? You're on the ceiling.
Yeah. Trying to get the ball. And I got lost. Okay?
So what would be your PlayStation 4?
My PlayStation 4 is a tie, and I'm gonna cop out to the tie just because I'm gonna go with online game and
I know what
regular game. Yeah, I mean it's far and away it's Dead by Daylight.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Dead by Daylight guy. Now, I don't play enough to keep my actual rank high enough, but when those poor son of a bitch rank 20s, after I finally decide to get back on, they realize real quick that Soul Scarce Minion ain't a rank 20. But my favorite not online game, like playthrough game, Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I got sucked into it. Yeah,
frogs on my
No, that's King's Quest.
I know.
Yeah, Whisper can do it. But no, Kingdom Come Deliverance. I never.
You like knockoff Skyrim?
It's better than Skyrim.
I don't know.
I said it out loud.
Skyrim is on every console.
I said it out loud, and you heard it here first. Kingdom Come Deliverance is better than Skyrim. I'm currently playing Witcher 3: The Wild Hunt. Kingdom Come Deliverance is better than Witcher. Sorry, Game Informer magazine, and your
Vampire's better.
Vampire is pretty good.
Vampire's good.
I did like Vampire. Now, not as much as I like Kingdom Come Deliverance, but I did like Vampire. Kingdom Come Deliverance.
I can't believe that they made a movie about those banjos,
right?
Or like a video game.
Yeah, Burt Reynolds isn't even in it. But yeah, KCD, as I call it, as the expert on it.
So we're gonna go because we're gonna wrap up here after this one.
Back to the PlayStation 3.
And again, if you've stuck around this long, please, for God's sakes, check out our website. It's www.tenacioussmashingbastards.com.
Not .org.
You can find us on Twitter at TSB_ooey. OOOWEEE.
Yeah.
And you can also email us at tenaciousmashingbastards@gmail.com.
That's right. Get in contact with us,
Get in contact. Let us know what your favorite games are.
And since we're on the games, PS4 people.
Yeah, let us know if there's something we need to be playing.
Yeah, let us know if we need to be playing. If you feel like you want to try to play Dead by Daylight or something, hey, Scarce Minion.
If you want to challenge them at Mario Tennis,
that's your problem. Then you have a death wish.
Oh, and by the way, just as a honorable mention for GameCube, it's Super Mario Super Strikers.
I can't argue that. I can't argue against it. The only thing I could argue against that with is the Super Mario Baseball, and they're basically the same game, just different sport.
Yeah, Super Strikers so good. But
actually, it's Metroid Prime. Let's be real.
But PlayStation 3, probably the console that got the most work for me.
Yeah. For sure.
I had my favorite game.
I have an easy shoe-in, far and away my favorite game, and it's going to be a game most people haven't heard of.
You go with yours first, because I had mine and then blanked on it.
Army of Two.
I did enjoy playing that with you.
After
you brought that to me.
And Army of Two 1 is the best one in the series. Now, they're all good, but the two follow-ups, the difference between Army of Two 1 and Army of Two 40th Day, both of them were published by EA, but I guarantee you 2 entire different floors of EA's fucking building worked on those games. Because Army of Two 1 looks a certain way, plays a certain way, the missions are a certain way, you feel like you're in a certain kind of environment, and then it's like the movie got a new director. Because Army of Two 40th Day is still a really good game. It's the same two, well, it's not the same two voice actors, but it's basically everything. They made another Army of Two game, but it's like a whole bunch of different people had to make it.
Yeah.
Like they said, hey, this dude worked here for like 25 minutes and made the best shooter ever. We got to make another one. Do you think you can do it? And they were like, yeah, I'll study it and make it. And they got as close as they could, but you can tell it's a little different. And then the third one, Devil's Cartel, is a better version of 40th Day. So I think 40th Day is the worst one.
Yeah.
Army of Two 1, 40th Day takes a drop, and then Devil's Cartel, the third one, is a better one. The only problem with the third one is they tried to make the main characters were the old veterans, so you don't play as them anymore.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, a little disconnect, because I don't care about these characters. I cared about these characters for 2 games.
Right. And Army of Two was a weird one that you almost had to play 2-player.
You have to play 2-player. If you use the AI, forget about it. Because the problem that they did on the first one especially is if you set the difficulty, your AI partner is just as stupid as the enemies.
Yeah.
So the only way to win or to be able to beat Army of Two with an AI partner is to set it to easy, because your AI partner can't kill anybody. If you put it on hard and you're playing by yourself, it's way too good. The computer's way too many and way too good.
Yeah.
You have to have another human partner to beat it on hard. You put it on easy, you can mow down everybody by yourself, but you have to.
Right, because the AI is not giving you anything.
Because the AI is not going to give you anything because you put it on easy, so it's easy too.
Yeah.
It shoots in the wrong direction and stuff. Like, oh, God.
My favorite PS3 game is Fallout 3.
I can see that.
And I love Fallout. Now, I liked Fallout so much, I liked Fallout 4. Now, I didn't play Vault 76 because I didn't have a console to play it at that time.
I haven't played it either. I heard it sucks.
Yeah, and especially I've heard it's just getting worse.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but complaints, and that every time they patch it, it sucks harder.
Yeah. But Fallout 3 was... And it was close, because Fable 3 would probably have been my favorite had I not... Well, that was Xbox.
That was Xbox 360. Exclusive.
Fallout 3, for some reason, I watched somebody play it, and I went, oh, this is kind of different. what's this slow-mo thing you're doing? What's VATS? Huh, that's interesting. Oh, you kind of choose your route, and I love games like that.
Time. Slow-mo reminded me. I changed my PlayStation 2 answer to
Max Payne.
Max Payne.
Accept it.
Back to Fallout 3.
Fallout 3, and its predecessor after that, the Fallout New Vegas, which I played New Vegas on PC because I just got a gaming PC at that point, and I went, well, I like Fallout. I'll get this game. And thank God I played it on PC because that game had so much more to add on the computer with mods and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
But Fallout 3, I played it, I beat it all the way through, and then I beat it again, and then I beat it again, and then I beat it again, and I just loved it. And that's tough because also at that same time, when I got my PlayStation 3, I got one other game with it. I got Fallout 3, and I got Batman.
Oh, Arkham Asylum.
Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, Arkham Asylum is... Ooh.
And Arkham Asylum is unreal. The only difference is Arkham Asylum is repetitive, but the story's so good. Fallout 3 is just as repetitive, but I just like the aspect of just that little bit of, I can just kill this guy.
Yeah.
I can just not do this.
Yeah.
I can talk. I can kill him. Like, there was just something about Fallout 3 that gave me that real immersive gameplay that I'd never actually ever experienced before.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
And I didn't really much get into Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, me neither. I tried
because people are like, "Oh, it's Fallout with like swords," and I'm like, "It's not."
No,
it's not. I like Fallout. I don't like the medieval. Now I play it now. I love. I enjoy it for what it is. But Fallout just had this thing about it, and I don't know what it was.
Well, that's kind of like, I'm not super huge on the medieval stuff too. I like the setting, but you got to do it right. It's a weird notion that on the PlayStation 4, my favorite game is Kingdom Come Deliverance, the one that tried to be as historically accurate as possible. There are no dragons, there are no mages, there's no magic. Now there's people that believe there's magic,
right?
But there's none of that. It's just you and human history and war
and
sex.
Oh, yeah.
Copious amounts.
Hot Mons. Of medieval doing it.
1-800.
Hot Mons.
Hot Mons. Sometimes you just need to settle in.
Hot Mons. But no one's going to understand that bit. But like Kingdom Come Deliverance, there's no dragons, there's no nothing, there's nothing in that. Witcher, it's like all this stuff and all this crazy magic exists. You know how many missions I've had to just follow footprints?
9
in a row, maybe. Like that was my streak I'm on. Like it's kind of like CD Projekt Red. They made a great game. Don't get me wrong. I have only one complaint about Witcher, and it's that whoever at CD Projekt Red played Arkham Asylum before they made this game, his favorite mechanic was detective mode.
Yeah.
Because you use your Witcher senses, which is detective mode, all the time, and I like that part. You need to. You have to. You got kind of Wolverine super senses. But so many missions turn into tracking missions about like, oh, I can't find him. Better follow his footprints. And you don't just follow his footprints.
Follow his scent.
Yeah. You don't just follow his footprints around a corner. You follow footprints for minutes. I followed horse tracks for 10 real life minutes. And it was like, oh, he got off here. His trails run.
He did.
Hey, way.
His trail run cold. I better, now I got a scent. And then I followed a scent for further. I'm like, I get it. I have Witcher senses. Can I fight something with my swords, please? But it's a really good game. I think it's funny, like you said, the medieval thing is kind of a weird subject because the fantasy aspect, the thing that's supposed to sell me, is the thing that turns me off. I played a game about historical war, and it was like, yeah, this game rules.
Well, it's like Dynasty Warriors.
Yes.
Sometimes you just want to kill shit.
Right, yeah.
Like, I just love and just watch the hit kill counter rack up.
Right.
Like, I don't really care. Yeah, this is an actual simulation. Like, this is set in this war and this war. Like, these things existed. Cool. Murder.
Yeah, and your guy's a 1.5 feet taller than everybody else, and he just runs through everybody. Yeah, that kind of stuff. But I get, like you said, the medieval thing's touchy, I guess. But PlayStation 3 best game, it's got to be Uncharted, right?
No.
Doesn't have to be. I just mean if we're agreeing on it. I'm saying the one we're agreeing on.
If you said best game PlayStation 3...
God of War 3, maybe?
Maybe.
It's... PlayStation 3 is another one where the library's
Arkham
so big.
City, is...
Arkham City might be, top dog.
Arkham... I don't know. BioShock? Oh!
Mass Effect. Like
Man.
Mass Effect 2 and all that.
Yeah, but those are like... they crossed over, so I don't know what the rule is on that.
Yeah, I don't either.
Shoot. I don't really
know. I love the Uncharted games personally. I'm under the impression that they're like, that's the game. Like also, but I'm under the impression that it's not just me that's like, not a lot of people.
The PlayStation 3, seller. Xbox 360, like you could say, what did we say the best game was? Halo?
Halo. But if on the 360, at least you had Gears. At least you had the Gears of War series.
Yeah, because like the best game to me on the PlayStation, like Last of Us was incredible.
Those Ninja Gaidens.
Ugh.
Shut up.
What, Dark Souls?
No. Yuck.
I don't know. That one's tougher. I think that one's a little bit tougher to pin.
Yeah, because there's so many new.
Because technically, I think Grand Theft Auto 5 came out on that.
It did. You're correct.
So. Yeah, that game's still rolling.
Yeah. I don't know. It's tough, but that breaks your crossover thing too. I guess. So let's say if it's PlayStation exclusive, I think it's got to be Uncharted. Would you agree? If it's exclusive, it's got to be Uncharted or God of War. Right?
God of War 3.
PlayStation's got better exclusives than Xbox. Xbox has one, and it's Halo.
Yeah, I'm not a big Uncharted guy, but I would be fine with God of War, Last of Us.
It's funny you're not an Uncharted guy, but Last of Us is the same studio.
Last of Us, Uncharted is like, here's cocky guy A,
yeah,
in a pissing contest with cocky guy B.
As you do.
And they're going to survive unsurvivable situations.
As you do.
Last of Us was,
We've all been
here's
in
a man in an apocalyptic world saving a girl. And it's like from rape. Like, it's that story and that gameplay, I couldn't stop. Like, I could not stop playing it.
Just adjusting that. Adjusting that microphone.
Because I'm right.
I can't debate you. I haven't actually played
it. Last of Us essentially
You gave me a copy, but I've actually not played it. You want to know why I haven't played it?
Because you're too afraid.
Because I don't have the case for it. Because you gave it to me in like a sample case.
Yeah, because that's how I got it.
Yeah,
I worked at a GameStop,
I'm
my guy.
not saying that you got it in the wrong way. I'm saying it's not in the collection because it doesn't have the case.
Well.
So it can't be played.
And you know what else can't be played? Us. For fools.
Yeah, ever.
But you know what we can be played for? For money! If you'd like to send us money,
yeah,
please.
We can't be bribed.
Go to our website. Click like. I don't know if that's a thing.
It might be.
Not on the website.
Not on the website, no.
No.
On the Facebook page.
On the Facebook page, on the Twitter accounts. If you think if you like what we're doing, go ahead and tell us.
Yeah,
send us a message.
Send us.
We've got a couple of emails so far. People telling us what they would like, and that a couple of these different podcasts were kind of what they were talking about. So if you feel the same, send us a message. Let us know.
Yeah, send nudes.
We're open, wide open for you.
We're spread eagle,
and we're ready for hot minds. you'd like to know what that joke's about, send us a message.
If this video gets 1,000 likes.
But seriously, we are the Tenacious Smashing Bastards.
Ooh-wee.
And bye-bye.
Ooh-wee.